My name is Anna and today I'm gonna show you how to make a crochet house for a cat. That project is quite big but very easy to make even for beginners. I'm gonna use just one type of stitches and that's gonna be single crochet stitch. In that project I'm gonna use spaghetti yarn, that's a cotton quite thick yarn, and a 12mm crochet hook. So let's start. At the beginning we need to make a magic loop. I'm gonna show you the easiest way how to make it. So our working yarn on a top, ending on a bottom, we need to make a loop on the right side and put it on the left side and just pull through. And actually that's it. Now we need to make 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's it, and just we need to pull that piece of string, and that's our first row. We're gonna start now second row. So through these 2 loops on the top, and pull through. In each stitch we're gonna make 2 single crochet stitches. One more time, through these 2 loops on the top, pull through. It's very difficult on the beginning, and 2. In first row we were having 8 stitches, and in a second row we should get 16 single crochet stitches. Now we've got a 2, so 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, gonna be soon, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. That's the end of our row, the last stitch. Now we've got 2 rows. In the third row we're gonna make 2 stitches over 2 stitches and 1 over 1. So in the first stitch we're gonna make 2 stitches, I need to check everything, and that's our third row. Yes, so 2 stitches in first stitch, and in the next one just 1. Now we're finishing third row, just a few more stitches, And remember, 2/2, 1/1. Now our third row is finished. We're gonna start row number 4. Pattern for a perfect circle is making 2 stitches over 2 stitches and 1/1. Now we've got 2 stitches, so we need 2 stitches over these 2. In the next one, just 1. In the next one, also just 1. And over 2, we're making 2. And that's our 4th row. As you have seen, I've made diagrams for you, so you can check how many stitches you should have in each row. On the end, we should get big flat circle. If your circle starts to ripple, you should add just 4 stitches in a row, like you've got it in a row 11 in a diagram. All these diagrams you can also find on my website crochettoys.weebly.com. Now we're starting to make 11th row, and in that row we need to add just 4 stitches. Yeah, we need to count. That's 11th row. So over first 2 stitches we're making 2 stitches. Then we should make 9 single crochet stitches, 1 in each stitch. Over next 2 stitches we're making just 1 stitch. You can check it on a diagram. So in the first 2 stitches, over 2 stitches, 9 single crochet stitches, then over 2 just 1, then 9 single crochet stitches, and again over 2 we're making 2. You have to make it that way to the end of the row. 12th row gonna be the same like 11th row. We're adding just 4 stitches in that row. And now 13th row, we're not adding any stitches in that row. So you should get in that row 88 stitches, the same number of stitches like in a 12th row. And that's gonna be our last row. And on the end, don't cut the yarn. That's quite important because we're gonna use that yarn a little bit later. So just few more stitches and we're gonna finishing soon. gonna start to make the second part of our house, and we're starting again with a magic loop, and one more time very slowly, working yarn on the top, ending on the bottom, loop on the right side, then put it on the left side, pull through, and in that magic loop we're gonna make 7 single crochet stitches. So slowly, and one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's the last stitch in that row. We just need to pull that piece of string, and again we're gonna start our second row. So through these 2 loops on the top, you see, just into and pull through, and in that row we're gonna make 14 stitches, which means we need to make again 2 stitches in each stitch. Our 4 stitches already, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14, and that's the last stitch in that row. And again we're gonna start a third row, so over 2 stitches, 2 stitches and 1 over 1, and then again 2 stitches over 2 and 1 over 1, and this way to the end of the row. Now our 4th row, so we're gonna finish 3rd row, and again one more here. Okay, so we're finishing and we're starting row number 4, and again over 2 stitches we're making 2 stitches, so 1, and in the same loop the 2nd stitch, next stitch gonna be just 1, and over next one just 1, over 2 we're gonna make 2 stitches. So let's continue our work, and remember we're making 2 stitches over 2 stitches and 1 stitch over 1, and this way to the end of the row. As you can see, our circle isn't flat. We need to get on the end something like spherical shape, half spherical shape. So we're gonna start next row now. Between these 2 points, when we're making 2 stitches over 2 stitches, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. So that means that's gonna be row number 7. So let's continue. There was 2/2, so now gonna be 1/1. So let's keep working. So let's keep working. As you can check on a diagram, we're gonna have a little change in a 11th row. Actually, row 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 are gonna be a little bit different. You can check in which place you should make just one stitch, so just do it. You can use some markers to mark that places where you changing number of stitches, and just work. In a 15th row, on the end, you should get 88 stitches. In a 16th row, we're not adding any extra stitches, so just make it like row number 15. So row number 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19 gonna be the same, 88 stitches in each row. So our 19th row is almost ready. In a row number 20 we're gonna start to make entrance to our cat house. So we just need to make few more stitches. You can also prepare some piece of paper and some pen or something, because you need to write how many stitches you skip on each side. So let's just finish that row, and I'm gonna show you how to make the entrance. And now we're gonna finishing our 19th row, and yes, that's gonna be our last stitch in that row. And in a row number 20 we need to start to make our entrance for our cat. So let's just make on the end of that row just one more stitch. That's gonna be just a chain like this. Turn back your work, and we're gonna skip this first stitch. We're gonna start to work in a second stitch. So you can write on your piece of paper that you're skipping one stitch in that row, and just keep working. Now we're gonna make other side of our entrance. I'm planning to skip 5 stitches, so I need to make 3 more stitches. Yeah, gonna be 5, so I need to make 3 more stitches. And then, yeah, I think it's enough for my cat. So one more chain on the end, turn back, and we're skipping again first stitch. We're gonna start in a second stitch, and on our piece of paper we should write that we're skipping 5 stitches in the middle and 1 on the next on the other side, so just to the end of the row. Now we're ending our row, and as you can see we've got something like that. We're gonna finish in the we're gonna skip one chain on the end, so we've got to make 2 more stitches, 1 in that stitch, and we're skipping the last stitch. Chain on the end, turn back work, and again we're gonna start in a second. So we skip in that row 2 single crochet stitches, and we should write it on our piece of paper too. Now we're finishing that row, so just a few more stitches, and like before we're gonna skip 1 stitch on the end of that row. Yeah, we're gonna skip this one, so we need to make 2 more stitches. So 1 and 2, chain on the end, turn back work, and we're gonna start again in the second stitch. We're skipping first stitch and we're gonna start in a second one. So just through the loop. And again on the end of our row we're skipping last stitch and we need to make just one more. You see, just one more. Chain on the end, turn back work, and again we're starting in a second stitch. We're skipping this first one. So through the loop, pull through. Of course you have to write it on your piece of paper how many stitches you're skipping in each row. And again to the end of the row. Now we're finishing row, and again on the end we're skipping last stitch, so we need to make 2 more, 1 and 2, 1 extra stitch on the end, just 1 chain, and we're starting in a second stitch. Let's keep working, and remember we're skipping 1 chain on the end of the row and the first one on the beginning. So that way we need to make 7 rows. That means we're gonna skip 18 single crochet stitches. So just continue your work. We need to have 7 rows like this. So I'm gonna be a little bit faster. Turn back and again. And that was the last row when we were skipping stitches. Now we're gonna make our row to the end, including this stitch on the end. Yes, through the loop. I will show you again. That's gonna be our last stitch in that row. And pull through. On the end we're making 1 extra stitch, turn back work, and we're gonna start in a first stitch. We're not skipping any stitches in that row. So yeah, because we don't need skip any more stitches to the end of the row. This way we need to make 3 rows. And now we're gonna finishing our entrance, so we just need to make few more stitches to the end of the row, including this last one. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now we have skipped 18 stitches, so now we have to make this 18 stitches again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I've got a knot here. It's gonna be, yeah, I need to pull a little bit. So now we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. Yes, so that's all our stitches, and we're gonna start in a first stitch. Yes, just pull through first stitch and 1 on the end. Yeah, that's gonna be our entrance. So let's continue. Next 3 rows gonna be the same. So now we're finishing our first row, and we need to make one more, actually 2 rows more. So in this one, through loop on the top, and that's our 19 stitches. Yeah, and that's gonna be a bottom side of the entrance. I'm planning to put there some pillow or piece of fur or something, so I need it to be a little bit higher. So let's continue. Now we're gonna finishing our row. Just one more stitch and one extra on the end. Just pull. Okay, this is it. So now we have to join these two parts together. As you remember, I was asking you about not to cut yarn when you're finishing your floor, and now we're gonna use that yarn to joining these two parts together. So just we need to check everything, and we're gonna start to joining these two parts. So through the loop we've got 88 stitches on the floor and 88 stitches on the next part, so we're gonna joining them. So, and let's start through 2 loops and through 2, as you can see. Just stitch by stitch to the end of the row, like you can see. So our cat house is almost ready. Now we're gonna make a nicer and a more stable entrance, nicer than that. So I will show you how to do this. We need a needle and a piece of our yarn, and just curl it that way around the perimeter, and that's it. Just in each stitch and pull. As you can see, it's not difficult, and our entrance gonna be really nicer and more stable. So just keep working. So we're almost finished with this part. Entrance is nice and big, so you have to just make as you can see, nice stable entrance. So actually that's almost the end. Now we need to make just a knot on the end because we need to secure, and we need to hide our strings. So one by one, not all two, just one by one, we're hiding inside our work. So look at this. Yes, you need to pull quite hard, and then we're hiding all our strings. And the last one. Yes, almost done. Now we need to hide this string, so just use needle and do what I'm doing.